דודי ודודי לי, הראל בשושנים. אני לדודי ודודי לי, הראל בשושנים. אחתי עונתי, תמתי אחתי.
Welcome everyone coming in. We'll get started in just a minute.
עונתי, תמתי אחתי. אני לדודי ודודי לי, הרואה בשושנים. ידידה ביי ביי ביי. ענה דודי אמר לי, קומי לך רעייתי. ענה דודי אמר לי, קומי לך רעייתי.
Okay. Welcome everyone. It's nice to see you here. My name is Carrie Watkins. I will be your host for this evening for what I think you all know is the IJS Shevet Community Sit. This is IJS's weekly space to come together and pause and become present and dive deep into Jewish spirituality and mindfulness. If you are someone in your 20s or 30s-ish. And that's what we're all doing here. Just in case you don't know, you all have access also to the recordings from the email that you got this. We also have a WhatsApp group that the link will be put in the chat. And I'm so excited to introduce our teacher for this evening, who is Jenna Zadaka, who is, first of all, just a really lovely human, which if you don't know, you will know that very soon. And I'll read you also just a couple of words so you can have some context if you don't already. Jenna is the Jewish Education Director at the Well. She has creatively infused Jewish mystic teachings from the cyclical Hebrew calendar into wellness practices for over 10 years. Jenna authored Mystic Meditation Cards, a deck with 90 meditation sources in Jewish ancient wisdom. She teaches Jewish meditation, yoga, and Rosh Chodesh groups in Boulder, Colorado. As a celebrated teacher of Jewish mysticism, yoga, and mindfulness, Jenna humbly draws forth great wisdom from her root teachers and ancestors. So we are about to be guided in about a half-hour practice with Jenna, and then we'll have time afterwards for question and answers. So Jenna, please take it away. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. So honored to be here. Thank you for coming, for bringing whatever you're holding today. I know many of us are carrying a lot of pain from the tragic news over the weekend and from the harsh, intense month of Av. For anyone who felt the fiery intensity of this past month in the Hebrew calendar of Av, we're all bringing a lot. So just showing up in community is very brave and very vulnerable. And I honor you for being here and for going inwards. It's not easy. We are moving into this new month of Elul. We're on Rosh Chodesh today together under the new moon. And Elul is known as the Achre Shana, which is the last month of the Hebrew calendar. It's the closing. It's a month of repair, of intentional endings. And we're both closing and we're also preparing for the new year of Rosh Hashanah. So we're filling up our cup in order to pour it out gently and become an open slate for the new year ahead of us. So it's a really important month of Cheshbon HaNefesh, accounting of the soul, of forgiveness, of deep, deep heart work. And we do this in order to fill up that cup and really be present with what happened this year, and a year of tremendous pain, but also tremendous joys for all of us and tremendous growth, and really acknowledging the year that we had with full presence so we can start anew for Rosh Hashanah. It really is represented, this point in time, from a quote in the Zohar: the end is wedged in the beginning. When we can really close mindfully, we're also planting those seeds to begin again. And it's that circular time, that reflective, cyclical time, really, that is taking us on a journey deeper and deeper and higher and higher. There's many, many acronyms for the months of Elul. One of the most common ones we know, I'm sure many of us have heard the famous acronym from Shira Shiram, from the Song of Songs: Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. This is a time that invites us into renewing our divine relationship with the beloved, and also reflected in our interpersonal relationships and inward relationship to ourselves. And the Kabbalists teach that this verse, Ani ledodi v'dodi li, is reflected in two types of spiritual movement, two directional flows of energy. Ani ledodi, I am to my beloved, is a arousal from below. It's from below to above, from root to crown, from us to the divine, from body to spirit. It's us stirring our forgiveness and arousing the relationship anew. So it's the work from below. And then the second part of the verse, v'dodi li, is the opposite. It's a flow from above to below, an arousal that starts with the divine relationship, the gifts that flow downwards, almost like a waterfall of light or a waterfall of energy flowing down to us. But the work starts in Elul, Ani ledodi. It's our initiation of this divine relationship. We begin, we blow the shofar, we set our intentions, especially on this new moon, when we really plant our seeds of intention for what work we're going to be doing through this month of Elul. So let's go into our meditation, and we'll explore this verse through our breath, because just like there's two directions in this verse, two flows, like a rising flame and then a flow from above to below, like a waterfall, there's also two directions in our breath. There's the exhale, which is how we give and offer our words, our praise, our life force forward. And then the inhale, when we receive life force, when we receive breath, when we receive our neshima, our soul through our breath. And this is the breath work that we'll explore together. So I want to invite you to find a comfortable seat, or you can lay down. I know I've been feeling heavy heart. If you want support on the back of your heart, you can totally lie on the ground or find any props you need. We'll be here together for about 20 minutes. So allowing yourself to get comfortable. And arriving into your body. You can bring your palms onto your thighs if you're seated. If you're laying down, let them fall wherever they are calling, wherever your body needs that extra intention or support. However your hands fall on your body, just welcome yourself to this moment. Picturing the new moon above us, the energy of renewal around us. honoring all the places that we've come from this year to get to this Achar Shana, this final month in the Hebrew calendar. We made it here, so sinking the sit bones, the feet into the earth, or if you're laying down, the back of the heart, resting on the ground beneath you. And just being aware of your body and space. Any micro movements that your body may need to shift and shuffle as you find stillness. And knowing that as we go inwards right now, we're not alone, but we're held in this collective space, in this safe vessel with each other. So let that be an invitation to go a little bit deeper than you would by yourself. And bringing awareness to your breath as it flows naturally and effortlessly in and out through your nostrils. Perhaps noticing if the exhale or the inhale is longer, is deeper. Letting that breath gently caress you as it moves through your body, softening any heaviness that you're feeling. Noticing the pathway of your breath as it moves through the body. And on this next exhale, we'll really lengthening out and we'll really deepen it with the phrase Ani Ladodi, giving our breath back to its source. Take a few cycles of breath, focusing deeply on the exhale, the energy you're giving, the prayer that you're offering. Letting that exhale be a deep initiation, the arousal from below, like you're giving your energy to the divine. Let that exhale go down and out. In the next few cycles, we'll bring awareness to the deep, long inhale, Vidodi Li. My beloved is to me. So feel yourself welcoming that beloved energy into your body. Receiving the breath, receiving support, letting your soul fill your body with every inhale. Feeling this energy of the beloved enter into your body. The aspect of the divine that is deep within our sorrows and also deep within our joys. Now we'll bring those two together On the exhale, ani ledodi, let it go. On the inhale, bedodi li, my beloved is to me. Again, exhale, ani ledodi. Inhale, bedodi li. Let that sink into your system, into your being. A few more times at your own pace. I am to my beloved. My beloved is to me. Letting the circular relationship be reflected in the circular quality of the breath. On the exhale, we can really send out our intentions, our prayers. We can also release and let go. Give something back to our Creator that we don't want to carry alone. On the inhale, we can receive the blessings of the new moon, any energy we need to get through this really painful time. The inhale gives us expansiveness, brightness. If it helps the rhythm of your breath to say this as a mantra out loud, feel free to vocalize this. That helps you. Ani la dodi, la dodi li. Some of us may want to bring our hands or some movement that feels authentic to you. Exhaling with our arms out. Ani la dodi brings it in. However it feels, inviting to enter into this beloved relationship. There's no right or wrong movements or sounds. The invitation into this beloved relationship is that we get to feel deeply whatever we're holding. The full spectrum of human emotion is welcomed in this relationship with the beloved. The deeper we breathe, the deeper we can feel. So perhaps we're letting in hurt and we're letting out hurt. Perhaps we're letting in joy and we're giving joy outwards. Let any emotion expand and contract with the breath, move through you safely. And with this, I'll give you some silence. If you're following the rhythm of your breath, keep doing so at your own pace. For some of you who are maybe more visually oriented, I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart, and I'll offer you a visual for this opening of Elul. The verse, I am to my beloved and my beloved is to me, continues, who grazes among the roses, in this love poem in Shir Hashirim. And the rose is the symbol of forgiveness, of a gentle softening. So as you breathe into your palms, see if you can feel this energy of the rose, like silky petals opening softly, gently inviting whatever needs to be felt. And yet the rose also has thorns, also has boundaries, and there's protections around our heart to keep us safe. So honoring both the silky, compassionate rose petals and also the walls that protect us. Maybe you can feel that boundary at the very end of your inhale when the breath stops. There's a boundary. And at the very end of the exhale, the end of the breath, there's a boundary. And between that, we have the freedom to feel and to love and to grieve. There's one other acronym I'd like to share for the month of Elul as we begin to close. There's also a verse from Shema, Es Levavcha ve'es Levav, which is a verse about opening our hearts, that the divine will open our hearts and the hearts of our offspring. So if you don't feel anything in your heart in our sit together, just want you to know that we're just at the beginning of Elul and the heart work is just beginning. We're just planting the seeds. Maybe there's an initial stir of movement, and that is just enough for this moment. And the prayer is that the beloved will continue to softly open our hearts so we can really engage in this full month of forgiveness and repair and softening as we close the year. So we'll take a few more deep breaths into your palms. connecting to the Lev HaOlam, the heart of the world. The beating heart within us is also the beating heart of the Shekhinah, that divine presence that dwells and animates in all of creation, in each one of us, that has been here in our highs and in our lows, that cries with us and laughs with us. And the more we can open our hearts, can also expand this Lev HaOlam of the whole world together. We'll take a few collective breaths into this heart of the world. Let this last one be the fullest. And release your palms if you haven't already. Noticing if there's any kavana, any intention for the new moon that you'd wish to set, that you wish to plant. And as you gently open your eyes back to this space, you can feel free to write your kavana in the chat. If you feel called to, it can be one word, one phrase, anything that you'd like to birth into this new moon together for Elul. My word is peace. Put that in here. And with that, I'll pass it over back to Carrie, and feel free to let the kavana come as it does.
Thank you so much, Jenna. It's a lovely practice and a really, really special way to start the month of Elul. For anyone who is peeling off now, sending you away with blessings. And for anyone who's staying, we have 15 minutes now as an opportunity to be in a little discussion. Anyone who has any questions for Jenna can ask them. So the way it's going to work is you can raise your Zoom hand, and then I can see you and call on you, and you can ask Jenna any questions about the practice, about anything that came up for you. I also really want to invite, even if it doesn't come out as a fully formed question, that's really welcome. It's really nice to hear from each other, just as a thing. So just if there's anything you might want to offer that you think might be of just as an offering to the rest of the group to get to hear each other. We all did this practice together, and hearing how it went for each other is a really, really sweet thing. So even just sharing kind of what's up for you as a reflection is quite lovely and quite welcome. So you already have Joey. Thank you so much. You're welcome to ask your question.
Hi. I'm just really connecting with the new month. I'm really glad to be moving into Elul. It's my favorite month of the year, and this was a great way to start it. I feel very full and aligned with the new moon and the new Chodesh. So thanks very much, Jen and Kiri.
Thank you, Joey. And I loved your kavana, love in and love out. Very beautiful. Oh, Carrie, you're muted.
Jake, you're welcome to speak.
Yeah, well, one, thank you so much for offering your time tonight. It was nice for me just after a long day of work to be able to connect with others and kind of just take a step back from everything. So I just want to express my gratitude for that. And just one question slash comment. I know you were kind of referring to a few passages from like the Zohar, the Kabbalah throughout all this. And I know traditionally when I've just been raised as a Jew, like those spiritual scriptures have been maybe just overlooked a little bit more. I'm just curious, like kind of going into Elul and coming up to the days of awe, are there any recommended readings or anything from the Zohar or the Kabbalah that you could just recommend?
Yeah, beautiful question. There's one book that just popped into my mind called 60 Days by Rabbi Simon Jacobson. And what's the full cup? There's actually 60 Days, A Spiritual Guide to the High Holidays. I'll put it in the chat by Simon Jacobson. And he brings in a lot of Zohar and Kabbalah and mysticism for this whole journey from Elul through Tishrei, through the high holidays, and really recommend that book. It's starting, I think the first page starts now. And I also really recommend, there's a book called Elul by Rav Dov Ber Pinson. Carrie's shaking her head. Have you read that one? Yeah. This is like the month of Elul, days of introspection and transformation. And he also brings in Kabbalah in such a practical way with meditation and practices and really beautiful Torahs that I've read every Elul for like the last 5 years or so, and it just, there's so much more depth. There's also a book by Rabbi Alan Liu. This is
Alan, you're completely unprepared.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful one, especially the model of forgiveness that he brings, because we're in a really difficult year of a lot of us are not ready to forgive, and there's no, there's no shame in that. Like knowing our boundaries, where we can forgive and where we cannot forgive, is also part of the forgiveness work. But he brings a really ancient midrash from King David and the first forgiveness model that we have in the Torah, and how relevant it is today when we're dealing with a really tragic and a really hard time in the world. So I'll look for that one too in the chat. Yeah, here it is. I hope one of those speaks to you.
And I was really struck as you were just sharing those recommendations, when you said that the Rav Dov Pinson book is something that you come back to every year, that this is real and you're completely unprepared is something that I come back to every year. And like just the kind of the image of the cycles, which of course is just what we were doing with our breath, just came to me of you'd think that, it's not so many books that we read over and over and over again, but the Torah is sure one of them, and so are these books. And there's something about Elul and that it really feels actually quite new every year, like this sense of deepening. That was really reflected in also the meditation you brought. So I'm feeling really grateful for that.
Love that. Thank you. It really reminds me of that visual of this spiral of time, that every year we're coming back to the same point in the circle, but yet we're at a higher and deeper rung. And so even when we're reading the book again, we're a years further in our inner experience and our growth and the movement of our soul and our tikkun, our spiritual fixing. And so it really just brings us into this spiral. There's another recommendation in the chat. I've never heard of this, On Repentance and Repair by Danya Ruttenberg. Thank you for that, Joey.
I just finished that yesterday.
Oh, wow. What do you think?
Yeah. If anyone has another question, reflection, you have a little bit of time and would love to hear from you. Giving another minute for any reflections to kind of percolate. Jenna had a really lovely image she shared with me before when we were chatting before this sit of just giving those reflections and questions, giving them time to land, giving them time to form, giving them time to grow.
I think there's so many questions of Elul that no one can really form it. Like, where do we start? How do we forgive? How do I go about soul accounting? What am I supposed to do? Like, I have those questions. And I think, like Carrie said, just opening up to the curiosity of it. What can Elul bring? What questions emerge? And letting that seed plant and see where it flourishes.
I'm curious if you have any particular, in our last couple of minutes, I'd love to ask you any particular practices that you do during Elul. I know for many people it's a tradition to kind of do a little extra something spiritual, extra something kind of turning inward. Is there anything that is within your practice that you could share with us that could maybe inspire us as we do our own Elul practices?
Yeah, so one of them that I really love is there's a custom to read Psalm 27 every day in Elul, and Rabbi Levi has a really beautiful translation that's very universal. I can actually put it in the chat, and it's yeah, Rabbi Levi. Would love to send it. So she has a PDF of it. I'll put it in the chat. But what I usually do is highlight like one line that really stands out to me and just kind of use it more as a mantra, as a prayer. Some people like to say it every day. I think her translation is such poetry and so healing and so beautiful. This is a really big one. I know many people have the custom of blowing the shofar every day in Elul. And one thing that I love, I brought in the visual of a rose, but roses are really like healing if you can bring them into your home. And there's a somatic rose ritual that we do in our Rosh Chodesh group. Just letting the flower help you heal and open or bring you strength and boundaries. And there's so much symbolism in the rose in Kabbalah and in Jewish lore and history. And I think bringing roses in, like in Elul, is a really beautiful way for that. Also, Elul is a very romantic time. Like, we're like entering this beloved relationship and also renewing our sensual relationships and our friendships, and roses can help bring in that romance and sensuality. I'm curious if anyone else here has a Elul ritual that they'd like to share.
Anyone is really welcome to put that in the chat. I feel also very curious as I'm going into creating my possibly at this moment a little bit over ambitious set of goals for Elul of all the different ways I'm going to show up for myself and the people around me. And one of those things is gratitude. So thank you, Jenna. And I already see some thank yous coming into the chat. So you're welcome to shower your teacher with more gratitude, everyone who's here. And we will wrap up our session for today. Thank you all for practicing together. It's really meaningful to be able to do this together. It's really not the easiest, most obvious thing to show up to meditate on a random Tuesday evening. So thank you all for doing that for yourselves and for each other. Thank you, Jenna, so much for sharing your presence and your wisdom and your practices. And Chodesh Tov, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your hearts.
Chodesh Tov.